Hey everybody, doing another live Q&A today before I continue to get some more work done. I'm actually going to be recording a video that is centered on the differences between living in this little minibus that I'm currently in and my 40-foot bus. So I figured I'd jump on here, answer a few questions. If you're watching the live replay, be sure to leave comments on the replay because I will get to those first thing in this video. If you are just joining this video, if you have any questions about living on the road, digital nomad life, running a mobile business, building a bus, living in a bus, all that fun stuff, be sure to leave it in the comments. But I'm going to go ahead and start with questions left after the last video. And I'm going to do 20 minutes today, just to have that video to record after. Sheila, I'm getting a 25-foot bus and want as much solar as possible. However, I am on a budget. What do you recommend starting with? So Sheila, what I recommend for people that are looking for budget solar gear, when it comes down, this is just my personal experience, when it comes down to the charge controller, the inverter, the wiring, you want to spend your money there. I have known multiple people that have had fires or have been close to fires, just going with cheap charge controllers, going with cheap wiring, going with cheap inverters. I use Victron charge controllers and inverters, and the wiring I just get on Amazon. I just get the ones that have great reviews. Windy Nation seems to be good wiring. But when it comes down to the solar panels, that's where you can kind of play around and save some money. Santan Solar. If you go to santansolar.com, I believe they just opened a place in Georgia too, but they're based out of Arizona, originally based out of Arizona. And if you've ever been driving, and you see those massive solar fields, what will happen is they'll use those panels for 3 years, and then the yield goes down by like 4 or 5%. But when you have that many panels and it goes down 5%, that's a pretty massive drop. And what Santan does when those solar fields replace those panels after 3 or 4 years, they will bulk sell those. Santan will buy those, and you're able to get awesome panels. I mean, panels typically have a 20, 25 year lifespan on them, and you can buy 250 watt, 300 watt panels for like $50 to $100 a piece. And, when it comes down to rigs, if you have enough panels up there, that 5% really isn't going to, I mean, it matters a little bit, but it's really not going to be that detrimental to you. And you're able to save a lot of money on a panel. It's just a couple years old. And I always recommend going to Santan. I've had a great experience with them, and that will help you with your budget. Also, if you're trying to get as much solar as possible, don't put a roof deck on it. That is why my panels, I have 1700 watts, but with my iMac, with my electric water heater in the winter months, it is a little bit difficult. And then also the angle of my panels, I would recommend laying them flat. A lot of people will angle their panels down on both sides of the bus, which, what that creates is you only get optimum solar for about 45 minutes to an hour a day. And then as that sun rotates, then one bank of panels is not getting as much energy because it's angled. And it might not seem like it'll make that much of a difference, but it makes a massive difference. That's one of the mistakes I made on my bus. So I hope that helps. Christy, what are the best ways to find out rules for the county you live in and what you know about the new deliverable boxable homes? So, Christy, what I always recommend is talking to local real estate agents, especially those that work with trailer park properties, those that work with multi-unit land. They're going to be able to tell you, like, there's been multiple times, as I've said on here a couple times, we're looking for land for tiny home tours. And every time I just call a local real estate agent and I do some digging, like find real estate agents that work with Airbnb properties, real estate agents that work with multi-unit properties, and they, are more in the know of the local regulations, what the local board is thinking in terms of tiny living, in terms of these things, because it's going to be so dependent. It's going to change from county to county. From what I've seen, it can be radically different, where some places that are a little bit smaller, they'll welcome this with open arms. Places that have a lot of tourists, a lot of people trying to do Airbnbs, they may be more adverse to allowing that. So just calling local real estate agents seems to be the best way to go, because they're going to be able to tell you exactly not only the rules and regulations for that area, but the overall ethos of those that are making decisions to allow that or make it more difficult. They're going to have those ends. They're going to have those conversations with the people that are going to give you the insight that you're going to need to move forward with that. Lots of questions today. Okay, back over to StreamYard right now. Mama's Manus Verma. Why not buying home? So there is that dichotomy of having a home and having that investment. Real estate seems to be the most solid investment out there. The reason why I don't have a home is I'm more comfortable traveling around, being in rigs. I enjoy that lifestyle a lot more. With the land that we're looking to buy, I would love to buy homes as an investment and as an asset and rent them out. But for me, I don't necessarily dislike or enjoy being in a home more than my rig. And being in my rig, I'm able to travel, I'm able to live cheaply, I'm able to do what I want when I want and not have that overhead. So, eventually I'd love to have a home, but it's not necessarily anything I need. It's not anything that I want for myself other than an investment. Karen, happy birthday. It's not my birthday today, Karen. My birthday's back in February. Wonder where you saw that from. But thank you for the belated birthday. It's not too long off. Courtney, what do you recommend for internet since Starlink is far out? So, Courtney, I have some good news for you. Actually, I don't know if I should mention this. I'll put it this way. Do some research on ways that you can get Starlink. I did it, and mine works great. But also, these little hotspots. For those that have heard me talk about this before, I apologize, but these little hotspots here are awesome. You can rent them from eBay. There's different people that rent them out. This is a grandfathered version from back in the day to where it's truly unlimited. And I go through 150 to 200 gigs a month on this little guy. It's Verizon. It's unthrottled. It's good to go. And I recently heard somebody mention that if you go to, I think AT&T offers this. If you go into an AT&T store and you actually have an LLC set up, you can get a business plan. And the business plans are like $65, $70 a month, and they're unlimited as well. And I've known people that have done that. So it might be worth going to AT&T and asking about their business plan. And that's what you can get that today. You don't have to get the grandfathered plans. So that's what I use for internet, and it's been working really, really well for me. Teresa, my father always said you get what you pay for, but cheap you get cheap. Yeah, in terms of the solar stuff, I mean, the way I look at it is with your build, the one thing I would never skimp on are things that can kill you. So I never skimp on propane fasteners and tape and making sure that system's good and having redundant systems like propane detectors. Spend money on that. Same with solar. Like if your solar catches on fire while you're sleeping, that could be very bad. It's worth the investment to buy good gear with that. Now, when it comes down to, say, hinges for your door, the super fancy hinges from Home Depot are $10 a piece. You can get them on Amazon for $1 a piece, and the quality is probably comparable. Yeah, skimp on that. Save money there. But when it comes to things that are detrimental to your life, spend the money. Rena, what is it like living in a bus or a mobile home? I've always thought of doing it. It's pretty amazing. I mean, it's not in terms of like, say, living tiny. It's not all rainbows and unicorns like you might see on Instagram and YouTube. It's definitely not, but like that's 5% of the lifestyle. In my personal opinion, that's only 5% of the lifestyle. Where when it comes down to the other 95% of the lifestyle, where you're able to bounce around, you're able to travel, you're able to go to public and BLM land and park for free and go explore and hike, go to new restaurants, that is absolutely amazing. Like, one of the main tenets for tiny home tours and, the Chris Travels channel is to show people that it's possible, because I absolutely love this lifestyle. It's not for everybody, but it really is one of those things where I wake up, I travel around, and a lot of times I can't believe that I'm actually able to do it. And again, it's not for everybody, but for me, I absolutely love the lifestyle, and it's just freedom. It's just complete freedom. James, where else do you stream these videos? I only know Facebook. So James, right now I am on StreamYard. So with StreamYard, I'm able to live stream to 3 different things. So I am live streaming to Tiny Home Tours Facebook, I am streaming to Chris Travels Facebook, and I am streaming to Chris Travels YouTube. Wait, how about a video turn around the bus? How about a video turn around the bus? Wait, let me know what you mean by that. Like a little tour of this little mini bus that I'm in. Teresa, you are so informative. Thank you. Thank you for this blog. I'm a future tiny homeowner through Gray's Harbor Habitat for Humanity. I'm also excited about this because I've lived in public housing since 2001. I want to pay off with as much as possible. This one thing about my tiny home, it's going to be stationary. There will be no wills, but I will own my house and own the property. Yeah, that's the interesting thing that I'm, kind of keeping my eyes on. As say the housing market implodes, the economy slows down, how many people are going to be, I don't want to say forced, but how many people are going to see this lifestyle as a viable option? Just the tiny living in general. Not that I think it's right to downsize or live in your 5,000 foot big house. Like I'm indifferent to that, but it's more along the lines of creating freedom for people, where they're able to live tiny, save money, be able to have a smaller footprint financially, and be able to go out and do the things they want to do. That's what I'm very intrigued on. And I'm happy to hear that that's working out for you, Teresa. Karen, it showed up on Facebook, said you're 30 years old. I will take being 30 years old. That works for me. That's what I'm going to tell everybody for a while now. Dingo, good day, Chris. Have a great day and hope to see more of your content. Cheers, fan down in Australia. Thanks for joining, bud. Yeah, I'll be creating more content on Chris Travels, especially now that I'm back on the road. Took a 2-year hiatus, family stuff and business stuff kind of took over. Dingo, if you're still here, let me know where you're at in Australia. I spent a semester in Rockhampton, Queensland, and then backpacked Australia, the East Coast, for 2 months. I love Australia. Karen, do you use a unit like a WeBoost to enhance connection? If so, what? So I don't have a booster. I tried the WeBoost setups. Well, let me back up. The WeBoost Wi-Fi or cell phone signal boosters never really worked for me consistently. They would work perfectly for a while, and then they would just stop working. Like literally, like I'd have 4 bars in a place, like the booster would be working, and then the booster would just stop working. I wouldn't have service for days after that. Plugged it in, contacted customer support, looked through the manual, tried everything, and it just didn't work. The one thing I did use was a PepWave system. It's more of a commercial product. It's a bit more pricey. That worked really well. That was something that I really enjoyed. But now with Starlink coming out, I really don't have to worry about that. Matt, hey Chris, I've seen a ton of rigs on YouTube, and yours is by far the best I've seen. Awesome, thanks, bud. I appreciate it. It was a lot of work building that rig, but it was a labor of love, and I'm super stoked, and I appreciate everybody that helped me with that rig. Karen, yeah, I know what you meant, Karen. Rihanna, you're welcome. Christina, love your videos. Thank you for watching. I greatly appreciate it, Christina. Catching gravity. Chris, how's Starlink holding up? I've seen with other people it varies state to state. What's your personal opinion? So right now I don't have the Starlink with me because I am currently in this minibus and I didn't have the room. So I just use this little guy. I'll be using this until June. The time that I did have it, the 2 or 3 weeks I did have it, was awesome. The only negative is you do have to set it up, but it takes like 5 minutes to set up. But you know, when I was filming for Tiny Home Tours, bouncing around before leaving Arizona, it was sometimes just easier to connect to my phone or this. But when I am in one spot for a while, I know I'm going to be there for like a week, just setting up the Starlink, and like I never had issues with connectivity. It was always fast. It always connected right away. So far, so good. Hoyt was wanting to see the layout, trying to plan out one of my own. So with this particular bus, let me unhook this, give you a short little tour here. So we have the driver's area up there, 2 big closet areas right here. I always get mixed up with this back. And then we have the kitchen area. So just storage underneath, a 2-burner stove with a sink, 12-volt fridge that pulls out. Got my Berkey water filter, queen size bed back there. Nature's Head. Oh, it's always backwards. I don't know. There we go. Nature's Head pulls out right underneath there. Upper storage over the bed. Gosh dang it. And then just open storage right there for all my camera gear and everything. And then bench seating right over here. And I'm on a little table right there and a little passenger seat right there. Hopefully that didn't make anybody sick. Yeah, this is just a little 5-window. This bus is used for videographers whenever the rig breaks down or they need to travel around. They can stop by the shop in Kansas, pick this rig up, and be on the road filming for Tiny Home Tours. So that's where this rig comes from. Faye, I'm new to your video, but I love tiny home videos. Plan on following you more. Awesome. Thanks for tagging along. Hopefully you get some good advice and be able to make it happen. Okay, it looks Russian or Greek. Yeah, it looks Greek. So I don't know your name, but I'll answer your question to the best of my ability. Thank you for your blog. As a Greek living in Greece, how do you insure your mobile home? As a car only? And if you make your own RV, does your insurance companies cover you? Do you need a type of certificate from electrician, for example? Thank you. No. So here in the States, you know, this whole lifestyle is taken off. So I'll just give you the examples that I have. With my 40-foot bus, it is registered in Vermont as an RV. That is the RV. Like if you Google RV Vermont registration, a post on schoolie.net will pop up and that'll give you information on how people are doing that. That made it very easy for me to insure that bus. With this bus, it does have a commercial policy, being that it is owned by Tiny Home Tours. So it has a commercial policy, and then I have a backup personal policy whenever I'm driving it around for personal use as well. There is no certificate that I need. Things are changing here in the States just because there's bad actors out there. Like they will say they're converting a bus into a tiny home, which insurance companies are a little bit more lenient on. Then they'll turn around and turn it into a party bus and use it for a business. So things are getting more and more strict. You have to send updated pictures all the time, signing new clauses that you're not using it as a party bus, because I think just drunk people in a bus without seatbelts, obviously that's a recipe for some issues. And I'm sure there's been issues in the past, and that's why insurance companies are cracking down. But so far in the States, it's pretty open. There's different loopholes and things you can do to get insured as an RV, convert it to an RV. But like I said, Google school bus RV registration. There's a post on schoolie.net. That's very helpful. Cody, what's up, Chris? Hope all is well. Enjoying the tiny tour content lately. Thanks for checking it out, bud. Hope all is well. Hoyt, you're very welcome. Jen, I see all these videos where people build out their buses, but it is possible to buy one already built out. I'm very new. Yeah, Jen. So it looks like you're commenting on Facebook. Just type in school buses for sale, and then search the groups. There's some really good groups out there, and I've been seeing some really cool buses for sale for good prices recently. Facebook's a very good place to go. I do see a lot of great buses on Facebook. Like there was a raised roof, fully built out bus for 30,000 the other day. It was either 30 or 40,000. I don't remember, but I mean, either price was good for that bus. It looked like a really good bus. Looks like they did a really good conversion. So I would check out the Facebook groups. Dingo, hey, Rockhampton in Queensland is just down the road from me, 4 hours. I live in Mackay. It's got lovely beaches, fishing, hiking tracks, and it's tropics, mate. Glad to hear you trekked around Oz. Yeah, so I might have, like, I started in Cairns for orientation for school, and then flew down to Rockhampton, and then went, like, basically just backpacked down to Melbourne, and then left from Melbourne. Love Australia. I definitely want to make it back. Richard, haven't seen you in a while. Where is your shepherd and your wife? Okay, so Kobuk is outside playing right now, and G, my ex-girlfriend, we ended up going separate ways, but I still touch base with her. We still share Kobuk from time to time, and I definitely wish the best for her. She's an amazing person. But yeah, we broke up about 3 years ago now. Whitson, Noise. Cool. Well, my 20 minutes are up. I am going to get started on this video. The differences between living in a minibus and a 40-foot bus. I appreciate everybody being here. And if you do have any additional questions, be sure to leave it in the comments, and I'll start with those in the next video. So enjoy the rest of your day, everybody, and we'll catch you later.